Hello friends and my dear students, welcome back to my channel Phoenix Physics. Today we are going to learn laws of motion. You know that there are 3 Newton's law of motion. You might have learnt in your 9th standard itself. What is motion? Motion means change in the position of an object over time. It can be described in terms of displacement, distance, velocity, etc. In our previous lesson, we studied about different types of motion, that is linear motion, then rotational motion, circular motion and vibrational motion. In circular motion, we studied 2 types. One is uniform motion. You know that uniform motion needs the concept of velocity, but non-uniform motion requires the concept of acceleration in addition. These are all about the motion. Actually, scientists wanted to know how things move, why things move. For example, the book is at rest. It will not move unless you apply force on it. Same way, if you want to move a football at rest, you should kick it. Suppose if you want to throw a stone in the upward direction, you have to give it on upward push. So what is the conclusion? The force is required to put a stationary object in motion or stop a moving object. So an external agency is required to provide this force. So the Greek philosopher Aristotle said that force causes motion. According to Aristotelian law of motion, an external force is required to keep an object in motion. But in the 15th century, Galileo said that force is not required to maintain motion. He wanted to prove uniform motion is possible with no frictional forces opposing. He used inclined plane. Look at the diagram. I have 2 inclined plane at same angle theta. This is my initial position L1 and this is my final position L2. Consider a ball rolls from the top of the inclined plane to the bottom. After reaching the ground, it moves some distance and again it moves on to the second plane. So this is my second plane. So please note here the height is different. So the initial position of the ball is here, the final position of the ball is here. So the height is different in the first case because he used rough surface. Second case, he increased the smoothness of the surface without changing the angle of inclination, which means theta is same for both the planes, but he increased the smoothness of the surface, which means he reduced the friction. Suppose if you increase the smoothness of the surface, the ball travels almost same height. See, the height is same. This is my initial position of the ball, this is the final position of the ball. So the height is same compared to the first position. Why? Because here he used rough surface, here he used smooth surface. Suppose if you increase the smoothness of the surface, the ball will reach almost the same height. This is the second scenario. Look at the third diagram. Here Galileo varied the angle of inclination. He maintained the same smoothness. So at this scenario, the ball travels longer distance in the second plane and reaches the same height. The position is different. Initial position is here and final position is here. because of the rough surface. Then in the second diagram, he increased the smoothness of the surface, so the ball reached the same height. Here he changed the angle of inclination, theta, so the ball travels longer distance in the second plane and reach the height. Here the angle of inclination is made 0 because it is flat, right? It doesn't form any angle. So here the ball moves forever in the horizontal direction, or we can say its motion never ceases. Why? Because it is a smooth surface, so it continues its motion. But in practice, the ball does come to stop after moving a finite distance on the horizontal plane because of the opposing force of friction, which can never be eliminated. However, if there were no friction, because he increased the smoothness of the surface, the ball would continue to move with the constant velocity on the horizontal plane. So Galileo proved that the force is not required to maintain motion, or we can say an object can be in motion even without a force acting on it. Aristotle coupled motion with force, but Galileo decoupled motion and force. Actually, Aristotelian idea were true if the ball would not have moved in the second plane, even if the smoothness is maximum, since no force acting on it. But Galileo proved that force is not required to maintain motion. That's all about the introduction. I hope this video is useful to you. If you like my video, please share and subscribe my video. Thank you.